To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep we say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shock that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause, stirs the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurn that the patient merit the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would farthest bear to grunt and sweat until weary life, but the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others which we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all. Thus the native view of resolution is sickly, or the pale cast of thought, and enterprise in great pith and moment, and with regard currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Now Hamlet talks to Yorick, who is a dead skull. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your gibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment which were wont to set a table on a roar? Not one now mocks your own grinning. Quite chaff fallen, get you now to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Next, I'd like to do the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What is that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there? They in their head. The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Alright, so a little darker now from Macbeth. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou now fail vision, sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshals me the way thou was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made a fool, all the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which were not so before. There is no such thing. It is bloody business which informs the vast to mine eyes. Now, o'er this one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the current sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murders alarum by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his designs, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones spread of my whereabouts, and take the present horse from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I trept, he lives, words to the heat of these, too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. Macbeth's words after Lady Macbeth died. She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps with this pecky pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying